welcome to episode 69 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. Hello, how are you? You alright? I'm okay. It's been a very busy day today and I'm back at work tomorrow, so it's all a bit frenetic. I'm Rosina, I'm a crochet designer. I love crochet what did I say? Did I say? Oh, that'll do. I hope you're alright. I haven't even had time to do my face. I've got 1 hour before I have to go and pick up the children from school, so hopefully I can talk to you about everything I've got to talk about. I'm going to have to try and keep an eye on the time, but the clock up there is it's broken, and I've lost my phone, so I can't check the time. I don't know where the flipping heck it has gone. I'm going to struggle. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's get straight into the crochet chat because there's a lot of it and I don't want to miss any out. I've got an unboxing to do. I've been sent something to unbox, which is exciting. I've got some whips on the go, finished object, another finished object in the shape of a commission, so I won't show you that. I took photographs of it this morning, and then that's when I went to the post office and posted that. At the same time I posted my form to say yes, that was me speeding in my car. Yes, I would be interested in attending a driver's awareness course and or paying a fine. Whoops, sorry, terribly sorry, won't do it again, type letter. Well, so I had to, oh god, just loads of errands that have been just like made me feel I went to Unravel, which is a yarn festival, where is it, in Farnham, which is miles away from here but an hour from where my mum lives, so I went and stayed with her for a weekend just so I could go to Unravel. And what else? We'll get to it as and when. Hopefully, it depends which edit I've used for my intro, because I introed twice. One was a bit messier than the other. I wonder which one I'll choose. Sometimes the messier ones are more fun, so I put those in. And I often don't record 2 intros, it's true, but today I did just because I was I was on the fence about how wacky it was. But also I was disturbed by Jackie, who is he's my new budgie, and he lives over there in a massive cage. He's being tamed right now over a period of days and weeks, so that eventually he can just be let out so he can fly around. I'm having a deja vu. Definitely haven't talked about this before, but this is a very strong deja vu. He might chat as I chat. We shall see. He's only been a fixture in the house for just over a week. So he's still sort of wild, really. He didn't come from the wild. He came from an aviary in my dad's garden. And when the weekend I went to Unravel, I went to see my dad on the day after Unravel, and he was just like, do you want a budgie? Yeah, right then. So I strapped a budgie in the passenger seat, front passenger seat of the car, and drove him back in a cage. He wasn't just strapped in. Oh, hello, baby. He wasn't just strapped in the front seat because he was. You were a bit frightened, weren't you? You're better now. Yeah, you're a good boy. He looks like a parsnip, slightly green parsnip. He's cute. So what should I talk about first? I've talked about you already. Let's do the unboxing first because that's exciting. Okay, we'll do that. I was going to show you the front then. It's got my address on it. Okie pokes. So here is a box I was sent from the Crochet Society, and it's a subscription box that is a collaboration between Bella, Coco and Practical Publishing, who are the publishers behind Crochet Now magazine. So it's a collab between them, and they come out with these boxes. And yes, so I was approached, I sent an email and they said, would you like to try out a box? And I'm not one to turn free stuff down, so I said yes. But I did say, look, I may not have time to make it, is that alright? And they were like, yeah, sure. People like unboxings, you don't have to make anything, just like going through a box is exciting on its own. So I've just undone the little Velcro tab, which is a nice initial feature. They've got a hashtag, which is Crochet Society, which sometimes I use, and you get shared on their Instagram page. So the first thing is you get 200-gram skeins of cotton acrylic, which is a 50-50 blend. So presumably this subscription box has a pattern for these 2 balls of cotton yarn. Bella Coco Crochet, she's got her own blinking brand of yarn as well. I think, what an achievement. Can you see a Zeens and Roger that type wall? I wonder what it would be. What would I have? I think it would have to have some merino in it. I quite like a halo, something fuzzy. Don't know. I've just caught sight of myself. I'm not wearing any makeup apart from a little bit of mascara because I couldn't be asked to put it on. So, no comments about me looking ill or tired, please, because that just means that you think I look like crap. But what it is just I'm just not wearing very much makeup. Postcard with a conversion chart on the back, which is useful. That's for hook sizes and stitch terms. So that's super useful. So regardless of whether you use UK terms or US terms, you've got that. And then we have, I suppose I could have filmed this differently, couldn't I? And filmed it so it was on a blank background or... Oh, hang on. Okie pokey. What have we got? A pencil case and a booklet, plus the yarn. In this booklet, I'm presuming it's patterns. There's an intro, and I think this must be the pattern that you get for those 2 balls of yarn. So that's a scarf pattern. It looks like the arcade stitch mixed in with another stitch and some tassels. And that's not the only pattern, you get more patterns too. I'll go through. This is a proper like little magazine-y. I don't actually know how much this costs. There's a flyer. Receive a luxury box of crochet goodies every month from Crochet Society from as little as £14.99 a month. I say this, I don't know. It says from as little as £14.99. Whether or not this is £14.99 or not, I don't know. Maybe they have different sizes. There's an interview with a designer, Rocket Girl Crochet. I haven't looked at this, so I might read it later. I will read it later, sorry. An eye mask pattern. See, I'm never going to crochet an eye mask. I don't have an eye mask. Might be good to have one, but I can't be bothered to crochet one. Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. What's in your box? In the box, we've got cosmetic type things in that bag, or it is a cosmetic bag. I suppose you could use it as a notions bag, couldn't you? I think there's, oh right, okay, there's a passcode in here which gives you access to private video tutorials. Ooh! Switch it up, this is a good idea, I like this. They give you alternative yarn subs, so you can go for cheaper options or more posh treats, posh smart yarn. Do you know what, the pressure of knowing I've only got an hour has made me go a bit spacky. yeah, so there's a pattern for that. And there's an article about mindful crochet. And there is some ads and stuff. Pattern for some scrubbies. And then there is just like what people have made with their sub boxes in the past. So it's like a mini little magazine, isn't it? So you get that, and then so that's the yarn. And then in here, I do like opening stuff as well, just for the sake of it. It's good fun. There is a teeny tiny, you're not going to be able to see this, even if I do that, because the camera doesn't focus. A teeny tiny stitch marker is a little heart with a hook through the middle. I very rarely use stitch markers. And the ones I do most often use are like the paper clippy sort of ones, not the dingly dangly ones, because they get caught on stuff and then I get wound up. A bit of ribbon. Oh, there's the code, and then there's some lip balm and Crochet's hand cream. It actually says Crochet's hand cream on the label. I'm going to open it. Had a little foil thing sticking it together. It's called rose, but it doesn't smell of roses. It just sort of smells softly pastel-y, I suppose. I don't know. Can't identify the actual fragrance, but it doesn't smell like rose, even though it's called rose. So that's a nice thing. And then a crochet hook, a 3.75mm crochet hook, which is presumably the size you need for those projects that are in the magazine-y thing. And it's got a Fimo handle, which not fussed about Fimo handles, especially when you can see people's fingerprints in them. It kind of makes me wonder who made this. I'd much prefer to have just a normal metal hook, because I don't know like whose fingerprints they are. It's things like that I think about and then don't edit out of, like reviews and stuff. So when I did an Instagram stories review of Cassie Ward's new garment book, which is brilliant, I love it, it's got beautiful garments in it, and the one I'm making is ace. This book, in my Instagram stories, and it might come across like the hook thing and getting heebie-jeebies from the fingerprints. I also sort of didn't edit out the negative comments as well as the positive, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because everybody should know all my thoughts, and usually people do have like little disclaimers saying these thoughts are all my own and nothing to do with whoever sent me the thing and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like you should be honest about everything, not just the good stuff, and that is a pretty good sub box, have to say. I don't have time to make the things in it, and it's pastel stuff, so it's not my cup of tea, but I probably will end up gifting some of those bits. If I'm completely honest. Not now, I can't gift the hand cream now I've opened it, but it's nice hand cream actually, I quite like that. It's good. But what I was going to say about this book was that, and what I said in my stories and then felt really guilty about, was that each jumper only has 4 sizes, and in the minute I've sort of become more aware of size diversity and inclusivity, and because that's been brought to my attention from various different sources, it did make me go, oh, only 4 sizes, that's not great. But if you're confident with tweaking patterns to fit you, then you're not going to have a problem at all. But if you are not a standard size, whether or not it's because you are petite or whether it's because you're plus size, then this book may not cater for you. But I have no idea, because as I said in my stories, which I did yesterday, I never measure myself and I don't understand centimetre sizes for garments. I understand what a UK 12 is. I know whether or not it's going to fit me. I'm sort of like a 10 or a 12, which you know probably because I've said it before. So it'd be good to know what like what 94 centimetres bust size translates as. That's the smallest size, and it's 107 for a medium, 122 centimetres for a large, and then for an XL it's 145 centimetre actual bust size. I don't know what that translates as in literal terms. Oh, look, I just did an hourglass, lovely lady. Don't know what that translates as. So there's a small, medium, large, extra large in each of the garments. But if you are a confident crocheter, then you can probably adjust that accordingly. I am making the loose sleeve jumper. I am not much further on than I was 2 weeks ago. Because of the blanket commission I've had to put it aside. At the minute there is a book tour happening on Instagram. Over the course of a month, one Instagrammer person per day is giving their little review of the book. My turn was yesterday. And that's when, like I did stories for the first time yesterday, and I quite enjoyed it actually, and it's much easier than I thought it was going to be. But a few days before me, I'd seen Ali make this jumper, and she did lovely colours. It was really nice because she did different colour sleeves, and a front and back, and that was cool. I think you can wear it like, that's the front and the lacy back, but I think you can wear it the other way around as well if you want to. Well, yeah, because look, you can. That person's wearing it so that the lace is on the back, and that person is wearing it so it's on the front. For example, that is one of the patterns. Did I show you that pattern last time? Because I quite like that one. And so it's not just jumpers, it's also ponchos. 15 different things, wearable crochet garments, shrugs, jumpers, cardies, all sorts of things. Like, what are we talking? I've done maybe 3 or 4 more rows in the last 2 weeks, that's it. But I've stopped making mistakes now. I have stopped. So that's the front panel, and the back panel is going to be the same, and then there are sleeves. I had it bookmarked and now it's not, because I've been flapping around. It should look like that when it's finished. I may or may not run out of wool though. How many have I got left? Right, no, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 full balls left. I had 10. It's not going to do it. I'm only on the front panel and haven't finished. But I have done this, the second panel, which is a ball. 1 ball. So that means what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to have to order more. I think I've got enough for a front and a back, and that's it. Bugger. It's only cheap as well, but that means I'll probably end up buying more. Because there's no way I'm just going to order like 2 balls of this and then that's it. You know my dilemma. Curses. I'll have a proper think about it later. It's a nice jumper to work up actually. I mean, it's dead quick. But if I run out, I'll be annoyed, especially if it's like a different dye lot and then it la-di-da-di-da. Alicium Cardi, I have not touched it since I last spoke to you. Although I have emailed the designer since to ask for like design support, help with the instructions. I'm just waiting to hear back. Unravel? Should I talk about Unravel? Where are we? Where are we? Why aren't you being chatty over there? I thought you were going to be chirpy all through this. Sort of disappointed. Let's talk Unravel then. So it's a yarn festival in Farnham, which is somewhere in the south of the UK. And my stepmum and my sister went last year. I almost went last year, but it clashed with a Fatboy Slim gig. So we ended up partying away in Cardiff instead for that weekend. But this year, my stepmum and my sister went last year and said it was so wonderful that they were going again this year and would I like to go with them. And so of course I said yes. And then my other sister went too, so we all went. There were 4 of us. Got a horrible feeling I'm looking for my favourite purchase and I've lost it. I don't know where I've put it. I'm a bit annoyed. I really want to show you. I'd heard of Unravel before and knew it was a good one just from word of mouth. And yeah, went with my sisters and my stepmum, and then we went on the Friday. I just wanted to go and have a look round, hang out with my family and buy a few bits and bobs. It wasn't a networking event or anything like that. I didn't want it to be like that. And actually, as it turned, I met up with one person. I say met up with. I didn't actually know Alison was going to be there because I hadn't really sort of done any kind of looking into Unravel at all. I let my stepmom organise the whole thing, and I just went along. Went and got swept away with the whole yarny goodness of it all. But when I arrived, my sister went, "Somebody's shouting at you," and I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, somebody's over there. They're shouting at you." And I was just like, "Oh!" And it was Alison from Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast who was there with the BIPOC fibre stall, and I saw it. But then she was talking to somebody else when I tried to catch her attention. I was like, "Oh, I'll just go for a wee and then I'll come back and I'll say proper hello." But then I bumped into her on my way back from the toilet and we had a bit of a chinwag, and then went over to the stall to have a look at what the BIPOC fibre gang are up to, which is creating their website and stuff like that. And I also bought a pin, which is on my jacket. So as I talk, I'm just getting out all my purchases, which are quite a lot. I'd just been paid for a commission, and it was when I got the pay, the money, I was just like, that is all going on wall. I want this treat. As I say, I deserve it. Do I deserve it? Probably not. But do I want it? Yeah, of course I do. So I said to myself, all that money you get for that commission, you can spend it all on wool, my darling. And that's what I did. And a little bit more. Right, I cannot find what I want. I've got it. I found what I want. Right, I'll try not to be distracted now. Basically, it was a day out. We went and had a look round everything twice. Said hello to a few more people, but really wasn't seeking anybody to sort of, I wasn't zoning in on anybody particular. With regards to yarn, I knew I wanted something from Spectrum Fibre because I've been eyeing up Spectrum Fibre for quite some time. Beautiful, bright colours. And I wanted something from Dusty Dimples too, but actually when it came down to it, I didn't end up buying anything from Dusty Dimples. And I sort of wish I had now. I had something in my hand for the longest time and I just stood there going, what could I use this for? What could I use this for? And I was just like, no. I was looking for a yellowy mustard colour, and when I got there I was just like, this isn't like... Basically it was for my season collection shawl, my summer shawl. I'm still looking yarn for. I may have found it, I'm not sure, but I wanted a yellow for the summer one. And the yellow that they had was too orange, and I wanted something with a halo, and it wasn't halo-y, and I was just like, do I go for this just because I want Dusty Dimple yarn, or should I wait until it's something that's perfect? And I put it down and walked away. But that was the only thing I've left going, oh. But everything else I'm like, yay, look at the stuff I got. So that's my one small regret, I think, really. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm rubbing my knees for some reason. Might look a bit strange. Right, my first purchase at Unravel was not yarn. I don't even know if my second this was my second purchase, I think, or was it my first? Did I buy it on the second? I think, can't remember. This was my first or second purchase. This other thing was my first or second purchase. I can't remember now. But I think I went and said hello to Alison first, so maybe this was number one. Whatevs. This is by, I think it's written on here, Tilly Flop. Remember, Tilly Flop. Got myself a tea towel. But they're all crochet stitches. It's a tea towel with crochet on it. How could I leave that behind? It's glorious. I love it. I might even iron out all these creases. And is it madness to put it in a frame and hang it up? Because that's what I want to do. Failing that, it's turning it into a project bag. And I don't know what to do. So there's plenty of fabric to do some sort of project bag. Because the woman behind the business had made project bags out of her tea towels. It was £10, which I think, well, I was perfectly willing to part with a tenner for that, because I loved it. I love it. I keep looking at it and swooning. Easily pleased. That was one of my very early purchases. I wonder what I bought next. I don't necessarily think I need to go in order with this, but hey ho. The next, I mean, my God, I was just like, yeah, I'll buy it, yeah, I'll buy it. I've got money to burn. My next purchase was pure, probably wouldn't have bought this, but it was £10 rather than 18. These are like festival colours, they said. And they were no longer going to be selling them at festivals. So there was another shade as well, like an emperor purple colour, and then this green, and then lots of these pinks as well. This green is Nidderdale. I don't know if they're still going to be selling it on the website. It's Bar Ramu, but it's £10.50, not £18.50, something like that. And these were the last two green, and they are the bestest kind of green. They're gorgeous, gorgeous colour. I might do my summer shawl in this green, even though I was after a yellow. And then there's this pink. There's a halo on these. I think that's what I'm after. If they'd had like a mustardy yellow, it would have been perfect for this idea I've got, that I abandoned with the peach merino. I don't know. This is a blend of 50% Wensleydale long wool, 20% Blueface Leicester and 30% UK alpaca. So it's a good, nice woolly wool, but not, I don't think it's that itchy, but definitely other people would. I'm alright with that, I can cope with that. I've made a design with that, different colour. It's coming out in the next issue of Inside Crochet magazine, and I know that not only because I know, but I bought the current issue just because I wanted it. It had a free magazine with it. So I was in Tesco's and I thought I want it. There seems to be like quite a familiar story with me. I want it, so I'm going to buy it. Which paints a completely terrible story of what I'm like with Bunny. But yeah, in the picture, I wonder where have I put the magazine? Oh, it's down here. I'm not going to talk about this magazine, by the way, but it came with a free Scapiers, sorry, pattern book. So why would I leave it behind? This is the current issue. I'm not in it. Not that that's a reason for you to buy it or whatever. And not that I can find the advert for in next month's issue. In next month's issue. That's my one there. La la. That's a sneak peek for you. Okay, I've got about 20 minutes. I checked a few minutes ago. I don't know where I am. Where did I get to? I think the next few were like what? I bought this yarn which has come undone. It's the Wall Kitchen. I learnt something very interesting. A yarn skein which is predominantly one colour but then has a splotch of a different colour is called zip yarn, because when you make up your project it has little zips, zip, zip of colour. Mostly that applies to knitting because it does sort of look a bit more zippy in knitting. With crochet it looks slightly different, and sort of over the last couple of years I've been learning about, like, you can see from just when you make projects what a hand dyed skein looks like when you've crocheted it up compared to when you knit it up. It can look completely different, and I've been avoiding these zip yarns because I don't like the way they look crocheted. And actually the last time I bought a Wall Kitchen zip skein was to knit with, not crochet with. Gasp. But the crochet project, so I'm looking around, can't show you, and I've forgotten what it's called, and I can't look at my phone because I've lost my phone. But the crochet project have come up with a beautiful shawl design specifically for these zip yarns. And it's just a shallow triangle shawl worked one end all the way to the other with a point in the middle, right? And then every time you hit a bit of colour, you make a little puff stitch, and it bedoings out of your shawl. Helen had samples of it made up on her stall, and flip me, it looked amazing. I was just like, yep, get me a skein of that. It's a one skein project as well, so I mean that is going to be that, because well, getting added to the list anyway. God knows when I've got time to do it, but it was like the best crochet shawl I saw probably at the festival. It was amazing. Although there was a whole stall dedicated to crochet patterns, a one woman brand, I can't remember her name and I can't look at my phone to find out. I'll put it in the show notes hopefully. Have I got it all written down? Where's that crochet lady? Crochet. She was called the Crochet. Can't remember. Can't remember. I bought one of her patterns. Can't remember the name of that either. I bought a hard copy printed pattern, and it was £7.50. And then when I got home, there was a download code, so you could download it as well, and it took you to Ravelry. And when I got to Ravelry, you could actually buy the pattern electronically for £3.50. So I was a bit miffed at that, because I would have just I could have just downloaded it. I mean, I'm happy to support her as a designer, but because as it turned out, I gave away the hard copy I'd bought anyway, because my sister wanted it as well. So I gave her the hard copy and kept the download for myself. But I want to tell you about this woman because she does do some really nice crochet designs, and you might want to make her stuff. Essentially what she does, really broadly, is she'll see and be inspired by knitting patterns and then translate it into crochet. So she's got like a, you know, Find Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. She's done a crochet version, and she's not the only person done that either, because I know My Square Hat did one, which I've made, which I wore this morning actually. I don't know where it is. Lots of Stephen West inspired projects as well, but I mean, yeah, lovely, beautiful sort of lacy style crochet, and some really interesting techniques and constructions that she's got going on, and I really liked it, but I can't remember her name, I'm so sorry. Eventually I'll make the fade shawl. I bought a crochet fade pattern. I want to know which 2 skeins I should use for the fade, because it only takes 2 skeins, this pattern that I bought. Can't remember what it's called. It was called something that I can't, like, want 2 normal words. It was like called, like something like, oh no, I'm not even going to guess. I can't guess. It would just be stupid. I'll put it in the show notes. But I was thinking, you know, something, I could go muted and do something like that, but actually it's too pale for me. But it works nicely. Or something like that. Ha 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 ha. Or something like that. Or I've got some mohair and I can squish it in with that and have a really bright version. But I can't remember. We were doing this at the something like that. So if I abandoned the idea of the crochet project shawl, which I don't really want, I really want it to be that, but I mean, they would look lovely together. But I'm not sure about the zip with the, I keep wanting to call it zip wire, the zip colour with in that shawl, because I think it would become pixelated rather than nice and zhoop, zhoop. It would just be, but my goodness. Oh. Anyway, sorry, all this has made my face really itchy because I've just like vroom, a load of fluff everywhere. So I've shown you, you've had flashes there. This was probably, I just love stuff like this and it goes so well with bright colours. This is, it says Ainsworth Prynne, but it's the knitting shed. Just lovely. It's a twisty one, 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, but I love a twisty yarn. I love a high twist. This is a high twist as well, which is Spectrum Fibre. I bought 2 from Spectrum Fibre. I bought this beautiful blue twisted sock. Again, it's 80/20. And a proper electric blue. I love it. It's called Little Blue Dress. And I bought this to go with it. Just try and take some photos. I haven't taken any photos of any of this yet. This is the Wiggle yarn because it's wiggly. I don't know if you can see, but my gosh, I love it. It's got a shine on it as well. Blush. 69% silk, 22% kid mohair, and 9% nylon. Got no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I love it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Needle and thread. Coral Me maybe. 4-ply fingering weight, 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. And it is a coral colour. Believe it or not, all of these things I had on a shopping list, like electric blue, peach, mint green, grass green, a neutral. They were all on my shopping list. I bought I could not find a mint green. I fell in love with one at Spectrum Fibre, but I was just like, not more Spectrum Fibre, come on, buy from lots of different people, not just one stall. And so I ended up buying some Rainbow Heirloom yarn, 2 50-gram skeins called Snow Melt. And I bought these because I couldn't see any other mint anywhere else that I loved that was without speckles and splodges. And then I saw at Ching Fibres this, which was perfect. I know, isn't it? Oh, the cat's coming. He's shouting at the cat. They're not doing. They're getting on all right. I locked Marcy in here yesterday afternoon for an hour and a half with the budgie, and they both survived, so it's fine. I meant when I shut the door, I meant to lock her on the other side of it. I hadn't realised she was hiding in here somewhere, and so effectively, rather than saving Jackie the stress of having a cat in the room, I actually gave him an hour and a half of solid stress. I did apologise, and then yeah. This is so nice. The only thing is, I'm not sure whether to hold them double, because usually when you hold them double, you've got like a lace weight mohair. And this is fingering weight mohair, heavy fingering weight. Goodness. So if I were to hold that double with that, it would make it extra thick. And what I wanted to do was work it with another colour to do some sort of project, and I don't know. I don't know if it will make it too fat or not. I really like them together, but they're completely different makeups. It's just to look at, really. I just love it. I've got to make a shawl this week for a magazine. So I don't actually have an opportunity to get stuck into any projects that of these. Oh my god. It's just greedy, isn't it? Makes me feel good though. I might make a pair of wrist warmers in this. This might be for wrist warmers, and I'll show you which. I hope I've got time. Don't know what time is it. Hang on. I've got about 4 minutes. Oh, I still haven't shown you my finished object. Because that's not the. I also bought some really plump yarn from Mrs. Moon yarns. I've made up something with it already. But I was going to wear these wrist warmers that I have designed and made around the festival, and I didn't in the end. Because they didn't go with whatever else I was wearing. But this is one of my new designs. One person has already tested it. Thank you so much, Janine. Yours look amazing. Janine is one of my patrons. Thank you, Janine. And as a patron, and not just as a patron, just as a supporter of the podcast, and she has been for ages, she was interested in testing something for me. So I have said she could test these, and she's done a fantastic job. I can't remember if I've named these or not. Some wrist warmers, okay. I wasn't sure of the colours. So I think maybe I should go for something a bit more grown up, which is why I was thinking that knitting shed stuff. So I might make it up in those and see how it looks. Just all one colour. These were my design submission to the Unravel design competition, but they didn't get picked. They did a competition and the winner would get their pattern printed in the brochure for the festival. 9 designs were shortlisted and you could vote for them on Instagram. A knitting pattern won in the end, surprise, surprise. But then also, surprise, surprise, 7 out of 9 of the patterns were knitting patterns and only 2 crochet patterns were chosen. One was by Heather from Keep Calm and... Are you Keep Calm and Crochet on as well? Keep Calm and... Oh, sorry, Heather. She also does Dear You, and she gave me that wonderful granny square mug which I use all the time. So one of her designs was shortlisted, and it was a beautiful representation of crochet and like the simplicity of stitches and how they can come together to create just a beautiful little scarfy cowl thing. Scarf, sorry. And then the other design that was shortlisted was a a tweedy looking, herringbony stitch looking cowl that Alison designed. I bought that the other day because I want to make it. I could do some of that. Oh, the tweel, I think it was called tweel. But again, don't know because it's all listed on my phone. I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, mine didn't get shortlisted unfortunately, but I don't mean to say I'm not going to release them because I am. I just wouldn't mind doing a different sample worked up. I think I've lost my thread a couple of times today, so I do apologise for that. Do you like them? I've got another couple of wrist warmer designs that I need to write up and sort out, but these ones will be the first ones because as part of the competition you had to have the pattern written up when you submitted. So it's already written up, it's been tested. I just need to go through another tech edit. I don't know whether I could probably do it myself, and then I'll release it soon. Yeah, let me just start putting this one back because I've got to go now. I can't remember. Did I tell you about yoga? I know why you're not supposed to wear baggy t-shirts to yoga now. Of course! All those poses you get yourself into, it just ends up round your head. And then you flash your bits and bobs to everybody. I'm very much enjoying it, but last week, my goodness, I ached good and proper. I know it's time to go, isn't it? I haven't finished what I'm doing. Right, I'll be back in a tick. Let me just go and get the boys and then I'll come back. Hang on. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to try and squeeze you in. I'm so sorry, but I've remembered I've got to go and get some inhalers from the chemist. So that means I'll be mega late and stuff like that. So this is the cowl, the shawl I made from the Mrs. Moon plump yarn. Don't remember what the colours are called, terribly sorry. I've lost the labels and everything. I wanted to get stuck in straight away, so I did. It's a really plump merino and it's gorgeous. I bought 3 skeins, so like a sagey green, a rusty orange and this neon pink. And I love it. It's just big enough to go round to make a scarf. I could probably tie it if necessary, if it came undone, but I've worn this quite a bit. And it hasn't come undone and annoyed me yet. Can you tell what I did? I followed my Release the Hounds pattern. I'm covered in so much fibre, it's ridiculous. And I've got a black skirt on and black tights and it's covered in bits. I didn't follow the exact colour repeats for Release the Hounds because I had, because this is such fat yarn, it doesn't go very far. So I kind of had to make up the striping, but I mean, so what? I think it still looks awesome. Love it. I want to take some photographs of that, me wearing it, but I can't do it at any point in the next. I need to write off Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays basically. Can never do any photography or anything like that on those days. And then finally, I bought a new book and it's called The Crochet Sweater Book by Sylvia Kosh. And I bought it because Stevie by the Sea bought it. I was watching her podcast and she bought it from a charity shop, and I googled it, put it into Amazon, and it was on Amazon because I wanted it. I was just like, yeah, perfect. I mean, some of that stuff is hideous, but in a really good way, and it's full of lots of inspiration. And on Amazon it was 14p, so why would I not buy that? So thank you very much, Stevie, for guiding me towards this grotesque crochet sweater book, because it is grotesque, but it's also glorious. Right, got to go. Panic, panic, panic. Thank you so much for watching. If you bought The Road to Nowhere, thank you so much. Thank you for your comments regarding my rant last episode. I had a good time ranting, and yet I did hold back because I don't want you to think I'm absolutely nuts. So I behaved myself. But the sentiment was there, and actually it has raised loads more things I want to talk about. So at some point in the future, I love that. At some point in the future, I will rant on more. Right, thank you so much for watching. Come back and see me again another time when I'm probably a bit more chilled out. Thank you, cheerio, bye-bye.